Hello everyone, this is Showtime 112. This is part 2 of our video about the Egyptian MiG-19s in combat. In part 1 you could see how the MiGs first faced Israeli fighters in combat and how they fared during the first day of the Six-Day War of 1967. Go watch it if you missed it. The first day is still not over. Egyptian MiGs suffered losses in the Israeli attack on Hurghada Air Base on the Red Sea coast, and some of them were evacuated. But the remaining 4 MiG-19s took off from Hurghada in the afternoon of June the 5th, and they encountered 3 Israeli Nor-Atlas transport aircraft, escorted by a flight of 4 Mirages near Sharm el-Sheikh, on the southern tip of the Sinai Peninsula. Squadron leader Shalash and Captain Mustafa Darwish engaged the Mirages, while Captain Fatih Salim and Lieutenant Abdul Rahman Sidki went after the Nor-Atlases. They managed to shoot down 1 or 2 transport airplanes depending on the source. The Israeli Nor-Atlases were supposedly carrying paratroopers who were about to capture Sharm el-Sheikh. The other 2 MiG-19s flown by Shalash and Darwish, which engaged the Mirages, were both shot down according to Egyptian sources. One unusual thing is that there are only 4 Israeli claims of MiG-19 shootdowns on day 1 of the war, and they refer to the battle over Hurghada Air Base, which you could see in part 1 of the video. 2 are credited to Ronen, 1 to Arnon Lavoshin, and 1 is a no-weapon kill attributed to the number 119 Squadron. That doesn't explain the version in which squadron leader Shalash and Captain Darwish were shot down over Sharm el-Sheikh. There is, however, a French source which says that 4 MiG-19s led by Shalash patrolled over Sharm el-Sheikh, intercepted and shot down a Nor-Atlas, and then returned to Hurghada, where they met Ronen's flight and got shot down.
On the second day of the war, Egyptian ground crew made 6 MiG-19 serviceable at Faid Air Base. At noon, a flight of 4 MiG-19s led by squadron leader Taysir Hashish engaged 6 Mirages over Bitter Lake. The battle lasted for about 12 minutes. Egyptian number 3, Idris, and number 4, Salah Danish, were both shot down. These kills can be matched with the claims by Israeli pilots Omri Afek and Oded Sagi from number 119 Squadron. As Salah Danish ejected from his MiG-19, he landed near the coal mines in Sinai. The miners were about to evacuate the area, but Danish complained that his back was hurt during the ejection and he chose to stay and rest instead of leaving with the miners. As the result, he was captured by the Israelis and was later nicknamed the Lazy Pilot. Another section of MiG-19s was intercepted by 8 Mirages near the Suez Canal. 2 MiG-19s were shot down and both pilots, Hishmat Sidki and Saad Zaghloul, ejected. The Israeli pilots credited with the kills were Oded Marom and Uri Shahar from number 101 Squadron. On day 3, the Egyptian Air Force tried to disperse the remaining aircraft and fly offensive sorties when possible. 4 MiG-19s led by Allah Barakat attacked Israeli tanks near Bir El Abid. Israelis claim that one of the MiGs was shot down, while Egyptian sources say none of them was lost. The next day, on 8th of June, Egyptian MiG-19s again tried to attack Israeli columns advancing towards Suez. They were engaged by at least 8 Mirages, and 1 MiG-19 was soon shot down. Another MiG was damaged, and the pilot eventually ejected on the way back. Israeli sources list 3 MiG-19 claims on that day, one by Menahem Shmuel and 2 by Abraham Salmon. Egyptian side initially claimed the kill in this battle, but this was later withdrawn. In the Six-Day War, Egypt admitted losing almost 65% of its strength, which included a large number of MiG-19s. Precise figures vary, but about 15 may have been destroyed on the ground, and 14 were claimed to have been shot down by Israeli Mirages. Immediately after the war, many MiG-19 pilots were transferred to MiG-17 units, while the existing MiG-19 Air Brigade was disbanded, and the surviving examples were downgraded to interior defense. But in 1968, Egypt reportedly had more than 80 MiG-19s on strength. They were probably transferred from Syria and Iraq. They form number 137 Squadron, which is sometimes described as a reserve unit. Egyptian MiG-19s claimed the kill over an Israeli Mirage during the War of Attrition. On 19 May 1969, Lieutenant Ashir Rami was returning from a mock combat when he encountered a pair of Mirages. They attacked him head-on and damaged the MiG with their guns, but Rami continued to fight. He was eventually able to get on the Israeli wingman's tail, and he fired a 2-second burst which shot down the Mirage. The Israeli leader pulled out in afterburner. There are no Mirage 3 losses in the Israeli sources to match this Egyptian claim. By the time of the 1973 war, Egypt either had no remaining MiG-19s in the service or still had about 60 of them, depending on the source. In any case, there doesn't seem to be evidence of their operational use in this conflict. This wasn't the end of the type service in Egypt, as a number of Shenyang F-6, a Chinese copy of MiG-19, was purchased in late 1970s. They initially served in frontline combat squadrons, but they were later used for operational training. Don't forget to press the like button, join our Patreon supporters, or donate on PayPal, because this is the only way for the channel to stay in business. Thank you, and keep watching Showtime 112. I'd like to thank Patrick Cloutier for sponsoring this video. He's the author of Mussolini's War in the East, an exciting book about the Italian combat operations in Soviet Union. If you want to learn more about this relatively unknown part of World War II history, click the link in the video description.